And the temperature for the orange color is close to 1,000 degrees. So if it melts at 475 to 640, how are you going to heat it up until it gets to orange hot? This is just red hot, 600 Celsius. It's just red hot. So this is definitely orange and yellow hot coming out of the building. So how do you get it that hot? They don't explain that. Anyway, they go on. In August, aluminum is not expected to ignite. No indication material was burning. Agreed with that. Pure liquid aluminum would be expected to be silvery. And that's what I had put in my paper, and I was glad to see that agreement. Then, okay, I'll go on in just a minute. Okay, let's talk a little about aluminum. When it flows, there you see it, these pictures appear silvery. This is what we see coming out of the South Tower. This is thermite experiment I did. You see the white ash flowing away. This is molten iron from the thermite reaction, which I'll talk more about. And actually, a homework assignment I'll give you is to actually read my paper. If you haven't done it. Okay. Now we heated this is a steel pot with aluminum flowing out of it. The pot, the steel container there, we heated up to yellow-orange hot, as you can see. This is close to 1,000 degrees centigrade. But the aluminum, as it flows out, is still silvery. In other words, it is glowing, but it's faint. Aluminum glows faintly. It just has lots of free electrons, it works out, compared, for instance, to steel. And so it has this silvery appearance. We also poured it on rusty steel just to see if there'd be some reaction from the liquid aluminum with the rusty steel. There was no violent reaction, nothing observed as we poured this on there. We put some gypsum. Someone said, well, if you had gypsum, this is wallboard, concrete crushed as you had in the towers after the planes went in, maybe you'd get a reaction. We tried all that, no reaction. So we're doing the experiments, which I hope NIST would be doing such experiments too to help us out. Okay. This is a picture of Wes Lifford. He's written a paper in the Journal of 9/11 Studies about the appearance of molten aluminum, its silvery appearance. You can read more about it there. Okay, so NIST goes on in their fact sheet from last August. However, so now it can't just be pure aluminum flowing out of the building, aluminum alloy either. The molten metal was very likely mixed with large amounts of hot, partially burned solid or organic materials. For example, furniture, carpets, partitions, computers, which can display an orange glow. Now they're conceding here that this glows orange, as we all observe. The question is, how do you get it to glow orange? How do you get aluminum to glow orange? Well, you add these organic materials from the office materials. And much like logs burning in the fireplace and stuff. So this is an interesting trick. Now, how do we find out if they're right or not? Experiments. That's right. Okay, thank you. Oh, we could just say, well, it's NIST saying it, so case closed. We're done. Okay. No, we do experiments. And so the very next day, after finding out about this report, I was there doing experiments again with some colleagues. So you see, what we did is we put this molten aluminum, you put in wood chips and they burn immediately, and the aluminum looks silvery. Besides that, there's no fire up there like this. But anyway, how about again and again, silvery in appearance. And the embers, we didn't see any embers either at World Trade Center as this orange material flows out. That didn't work. So, then there was a colleague of mine, this was at the university where I retired from now, and he came to the university from NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology. They're charged with explaining the collapse of these World Trade Center buildings, and they also are trying to explain this orange flowing material. And he said he couldn't believe that they would say that you could have organic material to this molten aluminum, and it can appear orange, they said. They couldn't believe they would say that without there being a way to get it to glow orange. And so he said, well, I want to try adding ash from a wood-burning stove. Let's get a lot of ash in there. So I have a wood-burning stove. I took some ash out. By the way, my wood-burning stove is made out of steel. It's never melted on me. I don't expect it to. Anyway, so, and I have a kerosene burning stove also. It is, jet fuel is a type of kerosene. I don't worry about it melting, but it's kind of different. But anyway, so we're trying to get the orange glow here. So we take this ash from my wood burning stove. We make this, it's kind of a mess now. We have molten aluminum. We're going to melt this all together. Ash. We put plastic in there. We put carpet pieces. And we heat this all up. Now, so we show you the results of these experiments. First, we're going to heat together. Let's see here. I think I have to click on one of these at a time. You see, we're heating that up hot. Real hot. Here, let's get a little sound if I can figure it out. Okay. So, yeah, we heat it up, and then we stir in the organics. Now, he's the one with the long blade screwdriver, trying to get the organics, this ash, to mix in. It doesn't mix. The contrary to what you might think from the NIST report. Ooh, sorry about that. We'll forget the sound for a minute. So here he is stirring, and he stirred and stirred. We were at this for a good hour. And he stirred and stirred and stirred. It just will not, the ash and stuff just won't mix in. At least not much. You can see it's floating. It floats on the top. And so now we add glass. Someone said, well, maybe if you put glass in there, maybe that'll give it this nice uniform type orange glow. Added glass, melted that in there. Well, it's kind of fun. By the way, now we've got a long, this thing's getting hot, So we hooked a long steel rod, and my friend, the physicist, is holding the other end of this while Wes heats things up. So finally we're ready to pour it out after about an hour, over an hour as I remember. And now we'll look and see, well, I guess I put punchline. Just see what you see there. Still silvery. Still silvery as it comes out. Yeah. The stuff kind of falls out, but it's still silvery after all that work. So the conclusion I have after these experiments is we invite NIST to show us how to make poured out aluminum acquire an orange glow. This is a trick I would like to learn.